Oh, sometimes it's so cold that you just can't heat up. It's so cold, your fingers are numb, your toes are numb, and you're thinking, oh my word, I'm not going to make it through this winter. And then you think, oh, it's time for POS Uncensored to rise from the grave of 6 weeks on hiatus and to come back and bring all the point of sale world together and bring all the things that we want to do to help the merchants across the United States, because we have the man, the myth, the legend. He is not the graveyard, the Undertaker. He is the POS pro himself, the lead pro. I'm going to come up with a better name, Mr. Matt Proctor. Matt Proctor, how are you, sir? And happy 2025 on the POS Uncensored. Welcome back. How are you, sir?
Happy New Year. I'm doing great, buddy. Good to see you. I'm excited to kick off 2025. POS Uncensored. We got some great episodes that we've already talked about that we're going to feature and really roll this year out the right way with some amazing promotions and systems and things like that. So I'm excited.
It
Even
is.
got the hawk going for you, buddy.
I know. I mean, you just really, I mean, all you need is a singlet and you could just be a WWE character for us and professional. And I mean, I'm just waiting. If I buy one that's PayProTec branded with a little bit of PayProTec icon on it, maybe we get you in it, just have a little fun some night. What do you think?
I'm a little lumpy, but yeah, I can make it work.
Yeah, it's a good use of the word lumpy. All right. So moving on, we probably won't do that for our, we do want people coming back and we don't want to have any, notifications, people getting scared off. All right. Here's today's topic. It's going to be a simple one. I don't think it'll be a super long conversation because we're setting up our conversations because I need to come up with a title of this, but over the next several weeks, we're going to not just be Matt and Nate talk POS. We're going to bring in other faces and important people of the POS world here at PayProTec, including next week, and I'll say it twice right off the front. Next week, Rain and Ming from Quick POS are going to be joining us live right here on the POS Uncensored. So join us live. If you're watching this, we'll do a little more promotion than we normally do a couple emails and a couple text messages encouraging you to join us and watch live. If you have questions you want us to ask ahead of time, email it to me. It's going to be a good time. But today, it's 2025. It's the 15th. We are now in the Eastern time zone, officially past the halfway point of January. We're halfway through January, Matt. Can you believe that? How'd that happen? And
It's fast.
yeah, it's going to be 16th. That's what I said to say. And 15th is not halfway. You got to get 15 and a half to get to halfway.
We're on the 16th, buddy. You're off by a day.
So, no, you have to get to 6. Yeah, I don't know what you have to do. We're past halfway, whatever it is. Yes, you're right.
It's fine. We're at halfway.
It is. Again, I am so cold. It is winter here. We've had negative degree temperatures. Oh, I'm already ready for summer. But today we're going to talk about 2025 goals, but we're going to specifically talk about for those who are just getting started or wanting to reignite their point of sale offerings to retail and hospitality and other services, from salons to all the other things that we can do in POS world. If you're starting from scratch, how do you set goals for yourself when you're getting going? So I'm going to start with this, Matt, and I think this will be a good question to start. If you were going to set one goal for yourself in point of sale, would you set goals for number of deals? Would you set goals for number of demos? Would you set a goal for number of consultations? If you're going to set a goal that's going to have the biggest impact on helping you jumpstart your point of sale business, what would be that goal that you're going to go after to start to make something measurable that you're going to do?
Yeah, great question. And this kind of coincides because we have our own goals that we set here, and I have goals for my team on the point of sale side. And really what it comes down to, the number one, and this is my opinion, is the demos. Okay, so set goals based on demos, and you don't have to stress yourself out and look at the entire year right now. Focus on Q1. Okay, in the next 2.5 months, as we finish up the end of March, how many different consultations can you set up to get to the demo? Because bottom line is our close percentage is generally around 20-25%, and for a lot of our great agents is even higher than that. And so if you're scheduling 4 demos, we're getting a new account closed. All right. So if you go and look, okay, I want to have at least 2 demos a week. That's not a lot. That means I'm going out and about and I'm finding at least 2 people interested a week. Now you're looking at 8 to 10 for the month. And out of the 8 to 10, boom, there's 2 new point of sale. And what's nice is it starts steamrolling on you. because they all start talking to their friends, their family, other business owners. Check out this new software I got. This person's great. I'll send you their connection. Now you're starting to get more of those referrals. And a lot of our great ISOs and agent partners out there, I mean, some of them are like 80% referrals now. And that's just it. And they'll go to a new town, they'll scoop up a couple new businesses, and the next thing they know, referrals going across the way. So I would suggest focus on a goal of how many demos you want to accomplish. Whether that's our team presenting or our point of sale team presenting, we will help get these closed for you. And we'll help you schedule the demo as well. So that's number one for me.
I like it. So if we're going to set our goal to go after demos, let's talk about trying to identify properly setting the goal number. And I think we probably have to set it up for a couple different groups of people. So we'll start with the people who are new to merchant services, who are just starting out, and they really are extremely green, or, you know, maybe just a little bit of experience, and they're coming here and they've never sold point of sale before. How would they start identifying what would be a good number? Because we're going to encourage them at PayProTec. You want to go after some, you know, low risk, easier sales that may just be terminals that are a little more turns style, but also easier to steal by other competitors. But you also want to start thinking about how you're going to build this pipeline over here that we're going to call the POS Pros pipeline. How do you be able to identify, if you're totally starting out, how many demos you could get in a month based on how many contacts you make? How do you start figuring out what that number could be and to just get started? What do you think, Matt?
Well, we found out through our office, and you going in as more the consultant instead of the salesperson, letting them know we have multiple softwares available. That's got us to a much more effective demo rate to contact. Now, contact might be one of your toughest things to do because you're going in, especially if it's in a restaurant, and you're not getting in touch with the general manager or the owner. Where you might have to go in multiple times. But what we've noticed is if you get in front of the right person and there is a need for a point of sale, I mean, I'd say 75% of the time we're getting them to a demo. Unless they happen to say, oh my gosh, this is the best POS I've ever used in the whole world. I'd never look at anything else. But that's rare that they would ever say that. There's almost always a tick or something like, yeah, we like this, but we wish it did X, Y, and Z. Right? Or I hate these guys and I can't wait to get out of contract. So it's very rare that they've got some amazing software they think is the best in the world. That's our job. So I would say percentage is pretty high, Nate, as long as, even if they're brand new, as long as they get good at just scheduling a consultation. That's it, the soft handoff. We don't need them to sell anything. We don't need them to go in as the point of sale expert and start rattling off a bunch of questions that they probably don't know. It's just, hey, I've got an entire team. I know I've got 2 to 4 systems that could be great for your business. Is that okay if we get our point of sale partner involved? And that right there, that opens their eyes. It surprises them. You're not just shoving one system down their throat. Now you come in as, I can help you grow your business. So that's a great angle that we use with newer partners compared to partners that might have more experience and understand the Clover realm of the world and understand some of our systems. They're going in at a little different angle and trying to push a system.
So, Matt, what do you think, at looking at numbers of from zero being POS pros that they don't have any success in a month to the most successful individual, not teams, not offices that have multiple sales partners that are working on? What do you think? What is that number like scale? I didn't tell you, so I know it's going to be off the top of your head. For an individual, how many POS systems? If zero is I didn't sell anything, obviously, and wasn't successful in any way, what's the top number that you've ever seen someone sell in 1 month as an individual?
That's a great question. So as an individual, I think I've seen 3 total agents throughout the years that have eclipsed the double-digit mark in just 1 month. Okay, and if you think about it, that's not the easiest to do, to line up all these people's schedules and get the demos done and all that. But I know for a fact we've had 3 that have broken the double digits for 1 month, and we're between 10 to 15 new merchants signed up with POS systems. And that's great. That's a huge month. All right. So point of sale is a little different than if you're just slinging terminals. What's great is you could do 20 to 40 terminals in between all those. Okay? But the point of sale is going to give you a stickier merchant, usually with much higher volume. So you sprinkle those in between, and then we do all the work for you. We do the legwork. We do the consultation, the demo. We help you with the paperwork. That way you can keep selling and keep going after, like Nate said, some of those smaller ones that you're picking off left and right that don't need a full POS. You give them a pay anywhere. So
Yeah.
that's the data side I've seen, Nate.
So we'll take 15 as the high. Let's go move it up. If 15 is
Yeah.
your max, you have the perfect month. Everything goes perfectly. As you're setting your goals, you want to find numbers that are reasonable, that are making you stretch, that are accountable to you. And so if demos is that number one goal, if you're going to say, I want to close 5 deals, I've already closed, I've done, my biggest month is 2, I'm going to get to 5. How many demos do you think it usually takes and consultate? Because we kind of talked about, and I think you probably want to have consultations and demos. Hopefully those are hand in hand, and there's a high percentage move from consultation to demo. But how many consultations and demos do you have a guess in order to get to 5? What would be your guess? I know we should eventually we'll do a study on this and have our people put actual numbers to it, but we'll take your gut because you are the POS pro.
I would say conservatively 30 people that you're talking to will result in 20 to 25 demos. That'll result in at least 5 sales. So if you break it down by a 75%, then break it down by a 25% close rate, if sheer numbers, and then that's not a lot. I mean, if you think about 30 merchants that you're talking to, if you're going out 5 days a week, I mean, that's nothing. You could do that in one day if you want. All right. So, but that's how many owners you'll need to get in touch with, or the general manager that's interested, or whatever, whoever it might be. And that'll turn into a lot of demos. And next thing you know, we're eclipsing that 5 easily.
Yep. Well, and at PPT, we are more and more shouting it from the mountaintops that you need to diversify your portfolio. You need to have multiple different types of businesses. And as you start out, you also you should niche yourself and then diversify. Don't try to diversify and have 50 different types of businesses and 6 different types of POS and 5 different types of terminals. You start simple, you get more complicated, but eventually, as you're growing into this business, you're going to diversify yourself and you're going to get yourself where you're doing 30 contacts that turn into 5 new deals every month, and you're creating that pipeline and that work. But that also means that you've done 20 demos or 15, 20 demos a month, Matt, for people that said no or chose something else or didn't make a move. How important is it for our partners when they're looking at creating new business to make sure that they're also following up on things that they had interacted with before where they didn't get an absolute no, or the person didn't? Do you see our partners saying, man, I'm going to spend X amount of time, or my goal is to make recontact with 10 people that had demos a month? Are there people that are focusing on kind of churning up that business from a pool that they've already worked in and already have some business? And how much work do we see going into that?
Yeah, some of our best agents, I mean, they're all over that. They've got a good tickler file. They know, okay, this merchant did like the software, but now's not the time. Okay. Or maybe something came up, and they continue and invest their time in going back there. Because we closed so many accounts where maybe months went by since we first looked at a demo, but the agent did their due diligence and stayed in contact with them, had that good rapport with them. If it was a restaurant, like the one I met with one of our longtime PayProTec agents and his wife down in Kentucky over the holiday. I was driving back with my family, met them at this restaurant where I did the demo with the owner, and I wanted to see the place and get to meet the owners and meet the general manager and meet with our partners. And that's the type of follow-up that we needed to do. And the DocuSign went out today, which is great. And we've spent 6 weeks with this merchant. And that's because the agent built this great rapport and did this great job. So just because it's not closing right away doesn't mean that we're not still going to get it wrapped up. It just might take 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And so in between all the new business you're going to, keep poking your head at anyone you did a demo with, because we want to raise that close percentage big time.
Well, and you want to make sure you're setting goals in all the areas: new business created, demos and consultations, reconnections with former people that did demos and consultations, and then current merchants who are currently using products outside of the POS Pros realm that may be considering making that next step. as you're setting a
Mhm.
goal to make sure you're always looking at your current merchants to see if they're going to be possibly poached by a competitor going after a POS, how do you identify one of the tips that you would give to our partners to identifying, looking at their current merchant base and ones that may be the highest or like it's called lowest hanging fruit for their competitors they need to pay attention to and spend some time and set some goals around converting people from terminals to POS because if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it and we're going to lose the processing.
Right, right. And that's a good thing. That's a great talking point too. Is yes, you can give a terminal and Nate, what we don't talk about that often is that a lot of our point of sales, POS sales that we are doing with new merchants, um, is that conversion from a terminal. Sometimes it's a terminal that they already have through us, through one of our sales partners, and they were just scared to move forward to the point of sale at the time. And so it got them a terminal with the knowledge that, okay, we do have point of sale systems. When you're ready, we're going to move you up into this, one of our point of sale systems. So, um, I like balance between the two personally. And this is from my background of going out and going and doing the sales just like our agents. So I like having some terminal accounts as well as the regular full point of sale systems, but I make sure the terminals understand at any given time we can upgrade them and get them into a robust software and better hardware and all that when they're ready. Then they're not going to go anywhere. They're not thinking as much about going anywhere because you're giving them free paper. You've already been taking care of them and talk to them all the time. And they know that, okay, I can go to Matt. Matt's going to be my guy who has other softwares as well. So that sort of answer your
Yeah,
question? That's
that
kind of my
totally does. And what we're trying to do is set practical things. How can you set goals in 2025 specifically for your business? How do you measure it? Obviously goals are meant to be changed. Make sure that you're having goals that are stretching you, that are actually helping. And if you
yeah.
meet that goal, then you want to set the next one. But also if you're, not coming anywhere close to that goal, then instead of supposed to evaluate, maybe my goal's too high, or maybe how I'm approaching that is not right. And in POS, especially for those who are new to the POS world, it's hard to know how much I need to do and how much I need to do. So we're hoping giving you some good advice to set those goals. What do you think? And so this is a general question. So we have lots of our partners that are individuals to offices of hundreds and everything in between. But what are the key criteria that you're seeing for when they come and set goals for 2025 or any period of time for selling POS? What are the things that's the most successful offices in meeting those goals? What do they do? Who are they? What are the things that make them the most success that you see from a 25,000 foot level? These aren't specifics here. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah. It really goes back to follow up, and it goes along with rapport. Our most successful agents are not the ones that are fly by night. They come in, they want to sell you, and then you're never going to see them again. Those aren't the most successful agents. Maybe they were 20 years ago, but we're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing that by the time we have a demo with this merchant, the agent's there and we're laughing and they're talking to them and they've already got this rapport. We're already halfway to the sale and closing it down 5 minutes into a demo. And so those are the agents that they set their goals and they hit their goals and they know how to be successful. And that really just comes down to running your business, in my opinion, the right way and taking care of people. And that's how I try to run my office. That's how my team works, where we want to get to know these owners. I want to know if I'm driving through Sheboygan or if I'm going down to Alabama, I can stop in these towns and see owners that are using our software. And that way they know, hey, that's my POS guy. I'm not going anywhere because they know we take care of them. And so, yes, there's barely any attrition with our best agents, Nate, and that's the biggest thing. It speaks volumes. If the merchant's unhappy, we jump in right away. I deal with all retention. We keep them on board even if we have to switch POS. And so that's what they do.
All right. I think we've given you good content today, specifically about setting some goals, hopefully teasing the idea of how you want to become more and more involved in selling POS as you diversify your portfolio and grow in a way that's going to help you set new records in your business in 2025. I want to ask one last question to Proctor, and it's a forward question to our show next week. POS Uncensored joins up with Quick POS and Ming and Rain as they join us live. Why should PayProTec partners come learn from Ming and Rain and learn about Quick POS live next week?
Okay, I'm just going to say it. It is our number one selling software. It is our number one food and beverage software. Even though I might tick off some of my other partners out there because we do have lots of restaurant softwares, but this gives you a way to compete with Spot On, Toast, SkyTab. The competition is brutal out there. And you need a software that is so robust it can handle all that and can do marketing and kiosk and excuse me, Yelp reviews and stuff that POS systems could never do 20 years ago. Especially the QR code technology and everything now, Quick covers all of that. That's why we average over 20 new merchants every single month coming over to us with Quick POS. 24/7 support, all domestic support. They just keep growing and growing, multi-language, for support and demos. And we're just not seeing many industries in the F&B market that Quick can't cover. So we want to focus and highlight that. On top of all that I just said, they've got some amazing promotions that we're going to roll out to everyone next week. We've already rolled it out in my office, so if you're already submitting deals, my guys will talk to you about it, but we're going to roll out with Ming and Rain for all of Q1. Okay, so that goes all the way to the end of March. We've got all these amazing pricing deals on not only hardware, but on their software. And I think that's a game changer for our agents to have this amazing software, but now we're undercutting the cost of the competitors. So please join us next week. It's going to be very, very exciting.
I love it. It's going to be a good week. You don't want to miss. You can always watch these afterwards. Most of you this week are watching this afterwards. We're going to push it to you through an email. But I think this is one you want to join live. You want to be asking questions. And let me just tell you, Ming and Rain will bring some incredible fun and personality. We can't have, we've had the privilege, Matt more than I have had, to have dinner with Ming and Rain and the team there at Quick. But this is going to be pretty close. So you're going to get an opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to do that next week. We are so excited to launch 2025, and it's going to be a great year. Matt Proctor, thank you so much. Everybody out there, thank you. We will see you next week around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the YouTube channel of PayProTec, the My PayProTec channel. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Bye.